Hello and welcome to Take 5 HOA, Thoughts about Technology and Business in 5 minutes or less. This is your host, Sherry Nouraini. Now today's topic is the difference between lack of empathy and lack of trust. And this was the thought I'm going to share was triggered by a video I saw of a social experiment. And that social experiment involved this. There was a man who had a sign on his chest, stood in the middle of a busy sidewalk, lots of traffic, and the sign, the first day he stood there, the sign said F the poor. And by F, I mean that four-letter word. And that got a lot of people's attention, and they stopped and protested, and they're really angry, and they were talking to him and saying, well, why are you saying these things? The second day, he stood in the same spot. He held a different sign on his chest, and the sign said, help the poor. And it ended up that everybody ignored him. Nobody even stopped to help him, ask him about his efforts about helping the poor and things like that. And when I read the comments, the interpretation that people seem to have was that, well, you have to insult people to get their attention. And really there is and also another interpretation was that there is no empathy anymore and things like that. But I want to, I have a different way of looking at it. I feel if you're a nonprofit and you're trying to raise funds, the fact that people don't stop and ask you questions or they ignore you if you're standing outside of a shopping mall or a store, and I see these people all the time, it is not because they do not have empathy. I believe that a lot of it has to do with lack of trust, because if you've been paying attention and listening to the news, there's been so many incidences of people taking advantage of people's empathy and establishing fake nonprofits. Every time there is a hurricane or a disaster, you get a phone call, and you get warned by officials that those phone calls may be taking money from you, and they're not legitimate. So I feel that the best way to get people to donate to your cause is to gain their trust. This is the, if not the only important, but the most important things as a nonprofit you have to do. Gain people's trust, because they have to know that even if they feel passionate about what you're doing, they have to feel that they know where the money is going. They have to feel that the money that they're giving is going to the right person, that it's not spent on somebody's salary or going to hiring a big paid C-level executive. And the best way you can, one of the best ways that you can establish trust is just to tell your story. There was a question posed earlier on this event page that I want to kind of touch on, and we can continue the discussion in our community, the Take 5 HOA. The link is right down in the description and also on the event page. What if you're a newbie and nobody knows you? And I think the best way to approach that, again, is to tell your story, be transparent, and really you need to start, since you're starting from basically a canvas, unpainted canvas. That's a great place to start, to really understand who it is that you're targeting, who your donor base is, and really try to develop relationships with them and show them what you're all about. And again, your story really matters. I look forward to continuing the discussion in my community. I want to stick to the rule of keeping this for less than 5 minutes, and we are there. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to reading and your thoughts and discussing with you. Join our community.